What's up, players? Welcome to episode 101 of Ready Press Play, your weekly source for everything that's new and exciting in the world of video games. Every Friday at 6 a.m. Pacific or 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we discuss the top news of the week, notable releases on all platforms while we're playing, big topics of the industry, and the games we love. If you want to try anything to be read in the show, go to ReadyPlayNetwork.com or hit us up at Ready Press Play on Twitter and TikTok. No matter where you found us, please subscribe to the feed so you can get every new show directly to your device as soon as it posts. And if you like it, please leave us a nice review. This is December 17th, 2021. I'm your host, Dan Lima, and I'm joined, as always, by my wonderful co-host, Mr. Lewis Menchaca.
You know, Dan, I just want to let you know I am very dedicated to this podcast.
Oh,
So
yes?
dedicated, in fact, that I declined an invitation to watch Spider Man No Way Home just so I can record
Wow.
this podcast.
Wow. That is, I feel very valued right now. I think our audience should feel very valued right now. That is a big deal. So, doesn't the movie come out tomorrow? Was this some kind of like pre-release premiere or
It's
something?
uh, it's essentially they got rid of Thursday night midnight shows
Uh-huh.
and they put them on Thursday nights. So like Thursday like at 7 o'clock would be the first showing, or Thursday at
Right,
5
right,
p.m.
right.
whatever. Like basically they realize that people like have to work and stuff in the morning, so they just
Yeah.
sort of shied away from midnights.
Isn't
Oh,
that kind of cheating in a way then? Doesn't that mean that the release of the movie is just December 16th?
pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, pretty
So,
much, yeah.
I was thinking it was some situation where you were invited to, the Hollywood premiere, that Tom Holland was gonna be there and stuff, and Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire and all these people, and then you said no to be here recording the podcast with us. But
Yeah, no,
you
dude.
know,
It sucks because this is happens to be the last normal episode that we're recording, and so I'm like, fuck. I was like,
yeah,
I
you
can't
gotta
go.
make it. You gotta
I
make
can't go.
it.
Yeah.
You feel if you called in sick to this one, I don't know what I would do. Well, we would probably have figured something out. Maybe
You got
record it over
Leah.
the
You
weekend
got
or something.
you got Leah, and
But
there's no need for video. Whatever. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. I guess I could improvise something. So maybe you should have gone to watch Spider Man.
Nah.
Well, when you watch that, don't spoil it to me, okay? Don't text me. I have been media blackout on that movie. Surprisingly, I've managed to do that. Everybody else I know has had like half the movie spoiled apparently already. But I've avoided, like, I've watched, like, I think like the first teaser like a long time ago, but other than that, like, I haven't watched any of the new trailers. I haven't followed any of the news. Like, whenever I saw anything, I would just like scroll past it or not click it or whatever. I've been trying to avoid it because I know this movie's going to have surprises, and I don't want to know the surprises before I see them in the movie. So I hope that I can keep that until I actually watch the movie.
When are you
Which,
gonna watch it?
Lewis, uh, we're gonna get into an interesting conversation right now because I think I'm gonna watch this movie on Christmas.
That's a whole week away, dude. No, you can't do that. I'm watching
I
it on
thought you were gonna yell
Saturday.
at me for other reasons. I
Uh,
thought you were gonna yell at me for
oh,
other
the other
reasons because
thing
you
about
told me,
my pet peeve
yeah,
about, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you remembered.
yes, of course I did. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Here's the thing: we're making your our holiday plans and stuff, and it just kind of like it's just one of those things that seems like it will make sense to do with our families when we're seeing them over the Christmas week. So I here's the thing. I am gonna do our best. If we're not decided on this 100% yet, but if we do end up doing it, I am gonna do my best to be a good customer at least, and to not do stupid shit. Because which podcast did we talk about that, by the way?
This
Is
was
this
last
is
year's
this
podcast. This is last year's DLC
okay?
podcast. It was
Oh,
during
okay. I was
the Christmas episode, I think. We were just having a conversation with each other, and I was talking about,
uh-huh.
I was pouring my heart out about how I used to work at a movie theater on Christmas. Yeah, and
Yeah.
everyone would trash the theaters like like overly, like just take the popcorn and throw it in the air, kind of stuff, and just yeah. No,
Yeah, that was a good one.
I
That was a
you
good
said
one.
to me during that podcast, you said I would never think to go to the movies on Christmas, and
Yeah,
now
I've
here
never
you
done
are,
it.
a year
I have
later.
never done it. See, I have never done it, but on not to like throw her under the bus or something, but in Leah's family, it's kind of there. It is a little bit more of a tradition for them.
Hmm.
So it's just kind of one of those things where we're likely going to be spending Christmas Eve with my family, and then we're going to go and see Leah's family on Christmas Day. So then, what do we do? Like, we need something to do together, on Christmas Day in the evening or whatever. it just kind of makes sense for us to save Spider-Man to watch with them then, because they want to watch it too. So I don't know, but maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll convince them to push it to the 26th, maybe the 27th, you know, just so that it doesn't have to be on Christmas Day itself. Anyway, I'll probably watch it around that time. So I know I'll need to be away from social media in the meantime.
Good
And
luck.
I am trying.
Good luck with
I'm
that.
trying to. I'm trying to watch the other Spider-Man movies leading up to it. We've watched Spider-Man 1 and 2 from the Tobey Maguire trilogy. So I need to watch 3 and then Amazing 1 and 2. And I think funny enough, I might actually skip on the Tom Holland ones because I watched them sort of recently, so I don't need to watch them again. I still have them in my head. I more just wanted to rewatch the old ones because I didn't remember them at all. So
Fair enough.
um yeah.
Finally,
And
I
those
feel
were
like we just did a DLC episode, just like a little mini DLC episode within the show.
yeah, I know. Totally.
uh,
Spider-Man 1 and 2, they're bad when we watch
oh.
them now, but they're still good.
Mm.
They're like, in some ways they're bad. The CGI has not aged at all. In fact, the CGI is fucking terrible.
Are you watching it
But
on Blu-ray or DVD? Because that affects the quality.
I am watching it on streaming. I'm
Oh,
streaming it on Peacock. Yeah.
okay, that's probably
No,
the best quality.
I guarantee you, the Green Goblin on Spider-Man 1, garbage. The CGI is complete garbage. But
The costume
that's
is
the
pretty
whole nother
sus too.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So we've come a long way in that sense. However, the movies still have some charm. You know what I mean? There's something about those original Spider-Man movies where it's like um there's something kind of wholesome about them. I don't know how else to describe it. Maybe it's just my nostalgia talking.
Hmm.
Um all right, DLC stuff aside, just all this stuff aside. Quick notes of housekeeping: or episode 100 special is available right now. You can go and watch the video, and I recommend you do that on the Level 1 Gaming YouTube channel. Congratulations to Lewis for being the one to actually edit the video and put it out. You did a pretty nice job, Lewis.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I did like a little Musing with Menchaca style editing and stuff like that. Especially because
Yeah, you got
when you watch Musing with Menchaca, the end episodes always end with white text on a black background with still photos of us smiling of from the video from the podcast. Yeah.
he got 3 camera angles going on, and he's like alternating between the different camera angles and stuff, and things pop up on screen at some point and whatnot, and then there's some Easter eggs at the end. It was pretty neat. It was pretty neat. I have to say, one of the just because I got to give you shit a little bit too. One of those camera angles, I feel like we could have framed it better. I was looking at it,
The
and I
one
feel
on
like,
Troy.
yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was the one on Troy. Yeah, I feel like we could have just kind of, I don't know how we would have done it, but I just feel like that angle is it's not very cinematic. I don't know. It felt a little off, but
It was
the other angles were good.
it was propped up. Like it was the only one that wasn't on a tripod. It was propped up against like
Right.
furniture. So there was that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I just wanted to know, like, did you get like a little tear jerker, like kind of like like little misty eyed when you saw like the end credits and with the little montage that I put together?
I had a side smile. I had a strong side smile watching the surprise of the videos that you cut out and put together, but no, I didn't cry.
Oh, God damn it.
I
Did
didn't
you
get teared up.
did you
I'm
at
not.
least remember those like specific moments and what they
Yes,
meant?
yes. You specifically picked fun, cool moments of when we were playing games together. The way out ones were the ones that kind of spoke the most to me. Where I was like, oh yeah.
No, the
That I
funny
got
one
really
was when like in
into,
the
and
first Way Out one, your face was like in complete
yeah.
utter shock. And just, have you seen your facial expression during that montage part?
Yes. You know what I was most entertained by in that part actually was specifically watching my video footage and seeing my background change and seeing my appearance change as well. Because there's a moment where I got like a big beard, and then there's a moment where I got
Clean
no beard and I'm all
shaven,
clean shaved and
short
everything. It's like
hair,
short hair, long hair.
and
It's like going through all the different phases.
and I stayed consistent. Yeah, with
Oh yes,
same background.
yeah, you got your brand and stuff. Yeah, I just saw an old coworker recently, and I was talking about how, like, I know you probably don't even recognize me because she hadn't seen me in 2 years, and I look completely different. And then she was like, I look the same. I have a consistent brand. That's how she put it. And I was like, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. So yeah, Lewis, you got your consistent brand going on. So yeah, but excellent job. It was a lot of fun recording that. For those should already know by now, if you're listening to this, but Lewis and I finally met in person. We had never met in person before for the 5+ years that we'd known each other. And so I flew to Texas a few months ago. We spent like basically a weekend together. We went around Texas. He took me to a bunch of restaurants. We had fun. We recorded the episode 100 with three special guests: Leah, my wife, as well as two of Lewis's friends who have contributed to the podcast or Ready Play Network in different ways. Troy, who used to host Ready Play Movies with Lewis, now defunct. Not Troy, the podcast, and then and then Joel, who is the composer of Ready Press Play, the guy who did the theme that we listened to in the beginning of every episode. Very talented musician. So it was pretty cool to get to have them join in as well and have us all kind of hang out and make fun of each other. And I think we reached peak comedy, like peak Ready Press Play comedy at some points in that episode, especially towards the middle where we're talking about like our story and how we met and then started doing the podcast and what kind of like our interactions were like at that point. I was laughing my ass off when I was listening to
I was laughing my ass off while editing it too. So
it.
yeah,
So that was a fun one, and we are going to be doing. We have two special episodes coming up after this one. So this is our last regularly scheduled, regularly recorded, Ready Press Play episode of the year, and then we're gonna get episode 102 dropping on Christmas Eve, and then episode 103 dropping on New Year's Eve. So that's December 24th and 31st, respectively.
audio
Uh,
listeners.
for the audio listeners, and then for people watching on the Level One Gaming YouTube channel, um, where our video podcast is hosted. Those are going to be dropping on Christmas Day and New Year's Day, respectively. In those, obviously, because those are pre-recorded, Liz and I are going to be on break. They're not going to be about current events, but they're going to be about random stuff. I believe that on 102, which is the next episode, we actually are going to be talking about
100.
uh, like behind the scenes on episode 100. What was it like for us to meet, hang out, the things that we did in Texas and whatnot.
Yes.
And then episode 103 is 103 is just kind of like a mixed bag of topics. We'll go a little bit further into our thoughts on the Game Awards. We'll talk about
Fortnite.
other
Yeah.
Fortnite,
Chapter
yeah,
three.
chapter 3, and other random things. So I hope you guys enjoyed those. We worked really hard to make sure that we had episodes hitting every week, always. We're gonna keep that going into the new year.
We've never missed.
Um,
So yeah.
we never miss. However, for those that have followed our journey and watched us on the Level One Gaming YouTube channel, we very much appreciate your support. We appreciate the support from the Level One Gaming crew, crew that Lewis is a part of and will continue to be a part of. However, as we mentioned in previous episodes, doing video every week has put some extra strains on our process that have made it a little bit more difficult for us to fit this into our schedules. And as Lewis and I have been feeling burnout with the podcast, as Lewis is actually getting started to do some other podcasts on the Level One Gaming channel itself. We've decided that we are no longer going to be doing video, which means we are no longer going to be featured on the Level One Gaming channel starting mid-January next year, which means that 101 today, 102, 103, 104 will drop as normal on the Level One Gaming YouTube channel, and then 105, which I don't remember exactly when that hits, but that will be our last video episode. We're going to do a special. We're going to be doing like maybe a sharing the love special episode where we're bringing in things that we own that we want to share the love for, video games, merch, whatever it is.
Show and tell,
Uh,
basically. But yeah,
we have some fun show and tell on the podcast, and we hope you guys enjoyed that.
January 15th, by the way. I just looked at the calendar.
Yes. There we go. And that will be our last video episode, and then we're going to go back to audio only, which is what we did for the first year and a half or so of this podcast anyway.
And if
And
you
then
guys,
finally,
if you guys are like
yep,
a fan of our show and our interaction and everything like that, everyone who's watching, I implore you guys to just go to the links in the description. Our audio feed, our Spotify is there. You can follow us and listen to us a day early because we drop on Friday mornings. First thing Friday morning. So
yep. And finally, I have a follow up to something that a bet that Louis and I made on the previous regular episode that we recorded. I think it was episode 99. and we're talking about Halo Infinite and trying to bet what Metacritic Halo Infinite would be landing on the next time that we did the podcast. Lewis said, "Do you remember what he said, Lewis?"
89.
Lewis said 89, and I said 84.
That means I
And right
won.
now, the Metacritic is at 87, which means that it's almost in the middle, but it's leaning more towards Lewis' side, and Lewis wins. It is closer to an 89 than it is to an 84. Now, the funny thing, Lewis, go ahead.
If we're doing prices right rules, it's the highest without going over.
Yes, in
Yeah.
that case, I would have won. But
Yeah.
regardless, I did want to say that after the game came out, I was watching the Metacritic. I opened like when the first reviews dropped, I opened the Metacritic and then I checked it again like later that day and then the next day, and that number actually jumped around a lot as reviews are coming in. At one point, it was towards the lower 80s. At one point, it was towards the higher 80s, and then it kind of ended up like normalizing somewhere in the middle, and then 87 is where it's ultimately at. So at one point I thought I was going to win and I thought you were going to win and then you ended up winning anyway. But yeah, 87 for Halo Infinite. What do you think of that score, Lewis?
Dan, I gotta say that it's sometimes it's very hard always being right. I just can't
Shut
help
up.
it. But
You know what's one of the things that I
uh,
hate the most about you, Lewis, that
yeah,
I don't think I've ever told you or we never talked about
okay.
is that you have like your memory is very selective to make you look better, which is very interesting because mine is like the opposite. Uh, but like, let me put it this way: if you threw a coin like 10 times and you called heads or tails and you got it right 5 times, you got it right 5 times, whatever. But then later on, like a year later, we'll be talking about that situation. You're gonna be like, I threw the coin 5 times and I got it right 5 times, and you're like, I'm awesome, like I got it, and you forget the misses and you only remember the hits, you know when looking back on stuff. However, you are correct on this one. You did get it right. Okay. You don't always get stuff. I've beat you in things so many times. I've beat you in games. I beat you in A Way Out. I've beat you in like other shit. I've beat you in prediction games, but you always act as if you're the fucking, winner and I'm the loser and I'm done with your shit.
Wow, like Dan is having a mental breakdown right now here on the podcast.
Oh man.
Like I love
Okay.
it. I love it. But anyways, 87. I'm actually kind of like sounds about right. I think it's strong. It's good. It's like not like this like top tier S tier caliber. Like I wasn't expecting anything in the 90s to tell you the truth. So somewhere to the mid high kind of 80s
Yeah.
is nothing to like make poke fun at either. By the way, so I think
Yeah.
I think some people say this phrase good enough isn't good enough kind of thing, but I think for me good enough is good enough. And here's the
Yeah.
thing, I think that the expectations or like the what it needed to hit where it needed to be was too high a task. When I said that Halo Infinite needs to be the best Halo to ever Halo, that is too much expectations to put on a game, period.
Right.
So
Right.
I think it's fine. I
Uh,
think it's fair.
okay. I would be curious to see, other Halo games on Metacritic, and I'm sure it's been higher than this before, but I think this is a step up from the recent releases. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Let me filter this a little bit here. So, um, filter it by score. Okay, so we got Halo Combat Evolved had a 97, so that's
Oh,
about 10 points above.
okay.
But then Halo 2 had a 95, Halo 3 had a 94, Halo Reach had a 91. Then Halo 4 had an 87, Halo 5, where is it here? I think Halo 5 went down. Yeah, Halo 5 had an 84.
So
Then
it's basically
ODS,
not like the original trilogy. It's not hitting those
yeah,
highs.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's Metacritic aside, it's aligning with Halo 4. It's above Halo 5, but to be honest, there's also popular opinion too, and I think that popular opinion on this Halo is significantly higher than Halo 4 or 5. So I think that kind of edges it compared to those. So
Yeah.
I'll put it this way: this seems to be the best Halo game from 343.
Yes.
So it seems like they've realigned. They put the train back on its tracks.
Yes.
despite stumbling a little bit, despite their struggles with the development of this game, it seems like they put the train back on its tracks. And good for them.
Dope.
All right, Lewis, let's get started with our topics of discussion. We got a major one to start with today, basically a topic of the show. The Game Awards happened. Yes, yes, I know you're watching this on freaking, December 17th or December 18th or whatever, and it's been a while. It's been like almost 10 days. We, depending on, if you're watching it on video or listening on audio, the truth is, we didn't predict that the Game Awards were going to hit exactly on the day that we had pre recorded episode 100 for. And we didn't want to do, like, we didn't really have time because we were already pre recording so many other things to do, like, an extra episode or something. So Liz and I decided to just kind of watch the Game Awards. Liz watched it live. I watched it on my own time later. Take our time to digest it, think about it, and then come back a week later and then do a deep dive now on everything that happened then. So I know this content might be a little bit old for you guys listening. We'll try not to overextend it more than it needs to be, but there is plenty of fun stuff to talk about anyway. So we're going to be doing that. Lewis, I know we're going to hit on this later on in a future episode anyway, but TLDR, this year's Game Awards, what did you think?
They were kind of bad. It was just a giant big
Mm-hmm.
commercial, and we made suggestions, and you can hear about it in the episode 103. And basically, I was TLDR. I want them to trim the fat. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. My opinion, pretty much the same. The Game Awards has struggled with this ever since its inception, and I think that the show can improve a lot if people care to improve it, make it less of an advertisement fast and more of a focus on recognizing developers and awards and what we love about gaming, right? So I think it's a long ways off from what it could be, from the ideal show that I think would make the majority of the audience happier. It seems like the general reception has been that way. That being said, I was happy with the winners for the most part. I thought the games awarded, there was some good variation there. There were some good choices there. So why don't we start looking through the list, award by award, what Lewis and I predicted, and then what the actual winner was.
All right. Should we do a game of the year first, or should we go with like that last?
You know what? Let's go from the back forward. So I'm
Okay.
gonna go to the last column on our spreadsheet here.
Okay.
We had best esports game here. We both predicted Call of Duty, and the winner was League of Legends.
Mm.
Um, you know what? I just realized that this might not be as good for the audience to do it like this. It's almost kind of confusing to. Maybe I should just say all the winners.
All right. Let's do it.
I'm gonna say all the winners.
Okay.
So the best esports game was League of Legends. Most anticipated game was Elden Ring. Best debut indie was Kena Bridge of Spirits. Content creator of the year was Dream. Best mute multiplayer was It Takes Two. Best sports/racing game was Forza Horizon 5. Best sim/strategy game was Age of Empires 4. Best family game was It Takes Two. Best fighting game was Guilty Gear Strive. Best role playing game was Tales of Arise. Best action adventure was Metroid Dread. Best action game was Returnal. Best VR/AR was Resident Evil 4. Innovation and accessibility was Forza Horizon 5. Best community support was Final Fantasy 14 Online. Best mobile game was Genshin Impact. Best indie game was Kena Bridge of Spirits. Best ongoing game was Final Fantasy XIV Online. Games for Impact went to Life is Strange True Colors. Best performance went to Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village, played by Maggie Robertson. Best audio design went to Forza Horizon 5. Best score and music went to Near Replicant version 1 point whatever. Best art direction went to Deathloop. Best narrative went to Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Best game direction went to Deathloop, and game of the year, surprisingly in my mind,
Same.
went to It Takes Two. Which, to be fair, It Takes Two is probably my game of the year. Out of the ones that I've played, I had played three from this list, and I would probably at this point pick It Takes Two from the three that I've played. But I just didn't see that happening. It feels like It Takes Two is too small, too niche of a game to get game of the year. I
Yeah, it's
predicted
not
some of these
exactly
other
like
awards,
this
but
most polished game, right? You know,
I mean, well, I wouldn't say that because that is especially true about something like a Way Out.
right,
But I do think they put that extra, like, they did put that extra cherry on top with It Takes Two when it comes to like the mechanics and the polish. We talked about that even in our review, but it's not what people think of when they think game of the year, right? Like when
right,
people think game of the year, they're thinking something epic, something that is like has this
monumental.
strong narrative, this you know, the scale, this mainstream nature to it as well. You know, It Takes Two winning is more like if anything, it's I mean, perhaps the closest comparison we've had to it in the past would have been like Journey, right? When Journey won, in the sense that it was like this smaller, more like artsy type game. But It Takes Two does not have that artsy crowd either, right? Like it's not your you know, your Kena Bridge of Spirits or your Artful Escape. It's not that kind of game either. So I was very happy. I was happy for Joseph Ferris. He is slowly becoming, you know, basically my favorite game developer right now. And I think he has a lot of potential. I'm very excited to see where he'll be in like 10 years, how many more games you'll have made. I think this guy is like, it's almost like we're watching like a new Kojima in formation, but off a different type, right? Because Kojima is more about the AAA side, and he's doing more of a different thing. So I was extremely happy for all of it. But it's just it really caught me off guard. I would not have predicted it.
Yeah, I mean, we both picked Deathloop for Game of the Year,
Yeah.
and you know, it's kind of interesting. Like, out of like the three games that I have played, um, I would I would actually go with Deathloop because like I think that that's just like the most complete package out of the three that
Yeah,
I
that's
played.
fair.
I think it was like because I gave it a 9 on the on level one gaming, and I thought it was like it was pretty. It's like it's AAA. It's got some good story. It's got some good acting, dialogue, and good mechanics. It's cool. It's fun. It's got like it's basically the whole package. I only had nitpicks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
that that was the shoe in for Game of the Year for me. So
Now, I would love to see a breakdown of the vote for Game of the Year this year because I have a feeling, Lewis, that the vote this year was more even than it ever has been before.
that's
Because
pretty fair.
I could see a situation where It Takes Two wins with like 15% of the vote, and the second place has 14%, and the next place has 13%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like this very close thing where it could have gone either way. And I think that I mean, honestly, if the fact that It Takes Two won reveals that probably all of these games had a shot. Because I was originally thinking that Deathloop it was basically a shoe in, and if anything, Resident Evil Village perhaps was like a wild card. But
You know, I wanted
yeah,
to comment on something here because I think there was like a three-way tie or something like that with the games. Because
hmm,
remember how like last year like Last of Us swept and like had like
yep, yep,
7 or 9 wins or whatever the fuck. Like this year there wasn't a sweeping game. Like I think
nope,
It Takes Two I think won 3 categories. I think two other games won 3 categories, and I think that's about it. Like Forza I
yes,
think was one of them.
yeah.
And like I'm thinking to myself, it's like the whole egalitarian approach that I was talking about during the prediction special about like let's spread the love, let's get as many games wins as possible. That kind of sort of panned out for me, which is kind of part of the reason why I won the predictions. So
Yeah. Kana got 2 awards. It Takes Two got 3 awards. Forza Horizon got 3 awards. Metroid Dread got one. Tales of Arise got one. Guilty Gear Strive got one. Age of Empires 4 got one. Returnal got one. Um, Resident Evil 4 got. Well,
two.
that's yeah. Well, we're
Wait.
mixing the Resident Evils. My bad. So there's Resident Evil 4 VR, and
Ah.
then Resident Evil Village only got the performance award. Uh, Final Fantasy 14 Online got two. Genshin Impact got one. So yeah, it was a very interesting mix of games
Yeah.
here. A
So
few,
okay, so two games got 3 categories. Basically, those are
yeah,
the two games that were like the biggest winners of the night at 3 wins.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
And It Takes Two and
Also,
Forza.
the the game publisher. I was looking into this. The game publisher that got the most nominations and then also the most wins. I'm pretty sure is Xbox, because Deathloop is It's despite the fact that it's a PlayStation exclusive, it is a Microsoft Studios game technically, and so is Forza Horizon 5. and so is some of the other games that we saw here, like Psychonauts 2 as well. I think I made a prediction a long time ago, which we're gonna have to dig on this stuff, Lewis, too, for our January and February content. But I think I made a prediction at some point that Xbox would be all over the Game Awards, and they kind of were, but not in the capacity that we would have anticipated. Almost in like an accidental kind of capacity, like
Yeah,
these. Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
So like there was a couple of things that we should bring up. Like number one, do you want to like you want to like shit on each other's like predictions or no, or do you want to just sort of like
Sure, sure. Let's do that. So Lewis won the prediction game. He got 10 out of 26 categories right. I got six. I thought I had gotten seven. Maybe he, miscalculated, but
maybe I
that's
miscounted?
fine.
You can check
Yeah,
my work.
I lost it anyway. But I do want to take pride on one thing.
Oh yeah.
I do want to take pride on the two ongoing type game categories where I correctly predicted the Final Fantasy 14 Online was gonna win for best community support and best ongoing game, and I feel like Lewis basically laughed me out of the room, and I was right because I'll tell you what, Fortnite didn't wasn't that good in 2021. All right, it just wasn't.
Mm.
And I know that Final Fantasy 14, that game has diehard fans that are really happy with everything that's going on there, and I knew they were going to show up and vote here. So I
And
feel
look,
proud of those.
on the other
Yeah,
category of the best ongoing, I predicted Call of Duty Warzone. I'm surprised
fair
they
enough.
didn't give it to Warzone. There's no one shits on Warzone. Yeah. But anyways,
Well, you know,
yeah. Let
I
me let me just see here. Like, let me see if there was okay. Best audio design. Forza Horizon 5. I predicted that one, and I was like, "Hey, look, tires
yes.
on the tread on the tarmac. I think that that's some good audio design." And then Dan was like laughing at my reasoning, and you know what? Fuck you, Dan.
Yeah. That was a pretty good prediction.
Now,
Um,
look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Like, best fighting game. We didn't. Neither of us. We both picked Nickelodeon All Stars, and I am genuinely surprised that Nick All
yeah.
Stars didn't get the nod. So,
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
or yeah,
The
for
Game
the win.
Awards is a popularity contest, right? We know that popularity contest. And as far as I know, from what I followed, Nickelodeon All Star Brawl is just not that excellent of a game. But it's a game that everybody knows. Everybody's been hearing about. It's been a topic of conversation. It had the memes and everything. So I thought that on that alone, and honestly, given the competition that does not include a Mortal Kombat, does not include a Smash Brothers, does not include a Street Fighter, does not include a Tekken, I thought that just based on the mainstream factor of it, that Nickelodeon was going to get that. I thought it was a shoe in.
Yep.
But I guess the Guilty Gear fans showed up for the vote.
Oh, and also, I just want to say, I want to laugh at you because you guessed Cyberpunk for best
Yes,
RPG. So
yes.
even though we didn't get it, neither of us got it right, But I just want to say your prediction was like
You
I,
know,
I told you it was a two-horse race.
yeah. No, I get it. And then the other interesting one, anticipated game. That award doesn't matter anyway, but
2 years in a row.
Elden Ring won 2 years in a row. Louis and I have both predicted Breath of the Wild 2, and yeah, there's something about Elden Ring winning 2 years in a row that's just kind of like, I mean, if they won last year, why I think they should have just taken them out of the list. But I guess a game could theoretically just be the most anticipated game year after year, right? Like maybe that was the case with the what was that Sony game that took like 10 years to come out?
Last
Um,
Guardian.
The Last Guardian or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So, anything else you want to hit on for the awards before we get into the announcements, which was the biggest part of the show anyway, Lewis?
No, but there is one thing I wanted to bring up about the Game Awards. Um, fuck, what was gonna? Damn it! You know what? I lost my train of thought. Just go for it. It's like I'm pretty
All
sure
right.
I had something about the Game Awards, but it wasn't about the announcements.
I,
So
I will throw something out there. I could be wrong, but I was looking at this and I don't think any game from Activision/Activision Blizzard won anything on this award. And we are not talking about this mostly because of a lack of time, I think. And we want to cover like more of the news, but just to put it out there, Jeff Keighley did start the show with
with the
some kind of an
statement.
acknowledgement and a statement. that was directed towards harassment situations that are happening in the industry, mostly with stories coming out of Activision Blizzard. However, a lot of people were almost kind of it's a do damn it if you do, you know, what's
damned
the
if you do, damned if you don't.
there we go kind of situation. But a lot of people were disappointed that he wasn't more specific with it. Uh, and I actually think that's a fair criticism, you know. And the truth is, you know, Jeff Keighley's just kind of looking out for his own side there. You know, he doesn't want to get in trouble with
Why didn't he just
Activision
say
Blizzard either,
Activision, like, or something?
right?
Like,
But yeah, but he didn't, right? He was very vague. He was like, hey, you know, and also there was a thing where they announced it before the show that they were not gonna address any of that at all. And then there was a lot of pushback, so they changed course on it and they said, okay, we'll address it. He goes in, he addresses it, and then he moves on with the show. But Activision did not win anything. Activision was also not present at the show with any new announcements or trailers or anything. Um,
now I
so
remember what I was gonna say, but go on.
so you did mention that you were surprised that Call of Duty Warzone did not win anything. That could be part of it because the people that vote on these awards are the kind of people that are paying attention to the news, are paying attention to the stories, are possibly wanting to boycott Activision, and with reasonable reason to do
So
so.
the woke
And
crowd would not allow that to happen.
yeah, I wouldn't put it that way because I think that's like you know, like I don't like that kind of terminology personally because I think that it is generalizing something that, like, you know, people that are genuinely concerned with genuine things that are happening and you're generalizing them and just kind of putting them in a bucket with things that are typically looked down upon. So I would not put it that way, but I just mean it as in I think they are right to be like, I'm not voting Call of Duty this year for anything, and I would have done the same. So that's what I was trying to say.
All right.
Yeah.
So the thing I was gonna bring up is like about the general thoughts about the Game Awards. I am genuinely surprised that Nintendo was not there in any official capacity other than to accept an award. I'm surprised that Nintendo wasn't there to announce something, anything like
Oh, that's true. That's
trailers.
true. Yeah,
So
they usually had something. Yeah,
they could
in
have even
previous years.
premiered a brand new Breath of the Wild 2 trailer.
I also saw some interesting criticism, by the way, and I don't know if this is, you know, that if this is grounded in reality or not. But Metro Dread won an award, and Doug Bowser was the one to go up there and get the award. And some people were upset that it wasn't the
Mercury Steam.
team that Mercury Steam, the actual developers that made the game. And I agree with that. Now, I hope there's a reason for this, as in like they were not there, they were not able to go or something. Um, but if they were there, or if they were able to go, and instead Doug Bowser decided to go and take the credit, it does kind of rub me the wrong way about him. And I don't know much about Doug Bowser
I
though.
mean, at least he had like a note card with Mercury Steam's message.
Yeah,
Very
that's fair.
least,
That's
at the
fair.
very least, but still, you're right. When Doug Bowser went up to the stage to accept the award, and I'm like, why the fuck isn't anybody from Mercury Steam going there? Like,
Yeah, because I would like to have seen, you
because
know, those folks. You know.
Mercury Steam, if I'm not mistaken, they're a second party. They're not even first party, or
Yes. Yeah,
so.
yeah. They are not owned by Nintendo, and I think they're a U.S. studio. So I would have thought it wouldn't have been the big a deal for them to be there. I want to look that up later. I could be wrong.
But
All
yeah,
right, let's. What's up, Lewis?
no, I was saying that's it. Yeah,
All right, so there are also a bunch of, you know, announcements and stuff at the Game Awards. We're gonna just kind of there's an article here from IGN. There's a big list, but I think we're gonna stick to some of the bigger things. So Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss, they revealed The Matrix Awakens, an Unreal Engine 5 experience. I've downloaded this, I played it, and I talk about it in a future episode. I think it's 103.
yep.
So look forward to that if you want to hear my thoughts. We got to see a glimpse at a new Star Wars game, Star Wars Eclipse. It is an action adventure game from Quantic Dream. Those are the developers of Detroit Become Human, uh, Beyond Two Souls, and Heavy Rain. We got a tease for Alan Wake 2. It was officially announced it will be Remedy's first survival horror game. We got a new Wonder Woman game announced from the developers of Middle Earth, A Shadow of Mordor, and Shadow of War, Monolith Productions. We got a new trailer for Elden Ring with some story details. They reiterated the release date that is currently February 25th, 2022. We got a new trailer for the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game. We got a first look at the Halo TV series. We got a new trailer for Hellblade 2. And I think that's kind of it for the bigger announcements. I mean, we got to see Horizon again. You know, there's a new
Forspoken.
Sonic game. I think that's a date for Forspoken. It's coming out on my birthday next year, May 24th, for PlayStation 5 and PC. We
Technically,
got
a
to
new
see,
trailer for Horizon Forbidden West, but nobody really cared about that.
yeah. So
Ooh,
Lewis,
Sonic
go ahead.
Frontiers. Fuck you. Sonic Frontiers is
I
Sonic Breath
already
of the Wild.
mentioned that, but I said that and you didn't hear it.
Ah,
So
God damn
maybe you
it.
should start paying attention to while I'm talking.
Fuck you.
Um, what stood out to you, Lewis? Now, just give me what you care about here.
Hellblade.
Give me one game.
Hellblade.
Give me one game. Okay,
That's it.
all right. Let's talk about Hellblade because I agree. Hellblade 2 looked fucking great. I have no idea what was going on there. They were killing this giant man. It looked like he wasn't evil. Like, so I was kind of like, why are you killing the giant man? And he seemed to not be attacking anybody. He was just sleeping.
Huh.
But I guess you need the context of the game to understand what was going on there. But that looked fantastic. And I have to say, Lewis, I have this theory, and I've shared it in the podcast before. I have this theory that what are the name? Ninja Theory is gonna be Xbox's Naughty Dog. I have a theory that they bought that studio and they're growing that studio with the plan of making it their own, high caliber, narrative driven, third person action adventure cinematic studio. Like the AAA cinematic narrative action adventure game for Xbox, the Sony game. Sony has Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us and Uncharted and Horizon and God of War and all these things. That format of a game, I think that Ninja Theory is going to be those guys for Xbox. And I think that trailer, to me, it might be a little too early. There's a little bit of gameplay in there. They were transitioning seamlessly between gameplay and cinematic. You could almost not tell what was what, but that showed to me that I was right on that idea so far.
I wonder, like, if Xbox never bought Ninja Theory, there's a possibility that this game could have already came out and it would have been a more smaller, scaled
Yes,
back, kind of like
I
a
agree.
shorter campaign kind of thing.
Yeah, like Hellblade 1,
Yeah,
right?
basically.
Yeah, cuz Ninja Theory, they were almost like an indie studio before. Hellblade is a very visually impressive game, but it was a short game because they could only afford to do so much with it with the personnel that they had. They were almost like I guess because of the kind of game that they were making, you could say they were perhaps between an indie game and a triple A. It was almost like a double A
Yeah.
game, right? Or something like that. I think they very much identified themselves as indie at that point. And now you can tell that they're scaling, that they're getting more ambitious. You can tell that this is going to be one of the most ambitious Xbox games.
So
Um,
just wanted to say, like, as a as a separate side note, I don't think we actually put the Nindy World Showcase in the doc. Not that I recall, but basically,
mhm.
like, those indie presentations and those indie trailers and stuff like that, they definitely look indie, you know. Whereas,
Right.
like, when Ninja Theory, when they were indie, they were punching above their weight class, and
Yes.
studios like them make me think that indies can keep up with AAA, you know. So
Oh yeah, yeah. Like in some ways they cannot, but in some ways they can. Right? It's all about knowing how to manage your team, your skills, your money, and putting it where it matters. Right? And a well managed indie team can make a better game than a poorly managed AAA team. Right?
yeah.
That's the way I look at it. Now the thing I want to highlight right now is Star Wars Eclipse. And the main reason for that is we don't know when this game is going to come out. It's probably just started development. It's we just got this story cinematic trailer. But I trust Quantic Dream in a way that I think a lot of other people don't. I don't see a lot of hype for Quantic Dream these days, and maybe there's some valid reasons for that. But I stand by Detroit Become Human
Huh.
as
So
one
it's
of the
got
best games of the last few years, and I'm pretty sure Lewis agrees with me. That game was very good. It stood out in a year that had a lot of excellent games, and because of that, it might have been overshadowed a little bit by God of War, Spider Man. But I think that game is almost just as good as these other ones in their own way. It's a completely different genre of a game, but within its genre, it's as good of a game in my opinion. I think that studio is extremely talented. I think they're very good with story-driven narrative stuff, and I think the idea of a Star Wars narrative game from that studio, just on that alone, even if I had not seen the trailer, is exciting.
Yeah, isn't there like
Yeah.
I think I saw some like a little bit of pushback because isn't Quantic Dream also going through their own like Activision style controversy or something like that? So
See, I don't know what's going on there. I know that there was some stuff that came out a while ago, and then I don't know if it got resolved, how it got resolved. It wasn't a story that I followed closely. I wonder if even it's something that might have started before we started doing the podcast, right? Where I wasn't following gaming news every week in the way that we are now. I don't know what's the deal up there. If there is anything bad going on, that sucks. But I hope they can just kind of resolve it, get rid of the shitty people, and then keep making great games because they make great games. That's just the truth, right?
Yeah.
Um,
But going
so
back to the game though, like as I'm looking at this footage and stuff, the trailer that I'm playing up on screen for you video watchers, um, the there are some shots, especially some shots in Coruscant from the in the Jedi Temple with Yoda. Some of these shots, if there are if I'm to believe that this trailer is 100% CGI, like not maybe at best mocap, right? If this is
mhm.
all 100% CGI, this is starting to get to that point where it's like sort of like looking like almost photorealistic because that shot from like the Yoda's back on the in the temple, it almost looked like episode 2, like straight up, like
Mhm.
it was shot for episode 2, like like
Yeah.
on stage or whatever. So just throwing that out there.
Give me one more highlight, Louis.
All right. You know what? I'm not. This isn't definitely not like the second best thing I would see, but I just wanted to give it a shout out because I don't think we actually did shout out in your rundown. But Cuphead DLC. And
Hmm.
here's the thing, I like the
They did a
trailer.
little, yeah, and they did a little dance move,
Yeah,
like dance routine for it and stuff.
it's in
Yeah, that was.
like they made like this claymation kind of thing, like a little string puppet thingies. Like
Yes.
it was a really cool trailer. And the thing that I'm very confused about is that this DLC looks very like a pretty ambitious expansion, right? And Cuphead has been out for years now, by the way, like out, you know. So like
Right.
I'm thinking to myself, why the is this company making a DLC expansion for Cuphead for a game that's already been out and people have long away put it in their digital shelves collecting dust? And why not just
So
make a sequel?
yeah, I know that this expansion was supposed to have come out a long time ago, and I think that the pandemic kind of just ruined their development cycle and has made it get pushed by over a year, maybe 2 years.
Hmm.
And it was announced a while ago, so maybe they're just kind of trying to complete their promise. And I also wonder. I don't remember. Do you think Cuphead had any kind of crowdfunding, like Kickstarter, anything like that? Because it could have been a promise to their Kickstarter that they're just having to fulfill. Which I know that that's a thing as well. Like sometimes games will throw things in their Kickstarter campaigns, and then they're still trying to fulfill it 5 years later. Sometimes they got to cancel that Wii U version because the Wii U flopped. You've seen these stories, so it could
Yeah.
it could be
I
something
don't
like that.
recall this ever being on any like crowdfunding, but I wouldn't be surprised if that were true.
Hmm.
So you're right. Maybe it is a promise that they're keeping. So, but I was just thinking to myself,
Yeah.
I was like, damn, this is like a long, like a very like, it's like as if somebody were to put out like DLC for like story DLC for I don't know, God of War 2018.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah,
Yeah, but it's old. It's actually older than Horizon Zero Dawn would be a better comparison because
yes,
Horizon Zero Dawn is from the same year as Cuphead. Yeah, I'll give some other few shout outs here. So Suicide Squad still looks great. I think that game has a lot of potential. I think it looks really cool. We also Forspoken. I feel like I feel like I'm actually less excited about this game now than I was before, because I feel like the more I see trailers for it, the more confused I get at what the game actually is. Because it's just there's a lot going on in this game. It's this magical world, and there's all sorts of crazy shit happening. And right now, I'm just kind of confused. So I think this is becoming a game that I'm gonna wait for reviews and then actually see what it's actually like, what the moment to moment is like, and see if it's something that I'm into. The new Sonic game that looks pretty cool. We got to see just kind of like a review teaser for it, so we didn't get to see too much of it. But it's like a fuck. I just played very loud. I played something on my computer. It was like very loud audio. Sorry about that. What did you think? You called me out earlier. So do you want to talk about Sonic? It looks like an open world Sonic game,
yes.
right?
It looks like Breath of the Wild Sonic. It's like This is what we
I
needed.
knew it. I knew you were gonna do it. I knew you
Yeah,
were gonna do it.
we needed this. We
It's
I am very much looking forward to it because it's like this almost kind of looks like they're trying to like next genify Sonic, you know. So
yeah.
I'm there for it. And also
Yeah.
this character model looks hella dope, by the way. This color, like
We
this color accuracy is like just
on,
nice.
on the subject of Sonic, we also got a trailer for the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie. You know, the sequel to that crap movie from a few years ago.
You know, I'll allow it. uh, normally I'm like, come on, get rid of my movie integrations in the Game Awards, but since it is a video game movie and I like the Sonic movie, so yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I like the Sonic movie too. By the way, I think it's fine. I don't think it is the best video game movie ever, like the level one gaming crew does. But I respect their opinions. I just I think Detective Pikachu is like 10 times better, and I think there's probably a lot of movies that exist in between. Um,
Damn.
yeah. I think Sonic is a mid tier video game movie, in my opinion.
Well, that's a
Like,
success, right? That
yeah,
in and of itself is a success. Look,
probably, yeah.
we're all just holding until the Mario movie comes out and then takes that title for like
We'll
best
see.
video game
We'll
movie.
see. Other than that, not a lot of things here that stand out to me. Like, I know people are excited about Alan Wake 2, but I've never played the first one, so there's nothing for me. Wonder Woman,
That character
that's
model
probably
looked dope.
yeah, and Wonder Woman probably gonna be cool. Those guys. Shadow Mortar was a good game. I've played it for about 10 hours before I got kind of bored and fell out of it. But
Maybe we can finally get
um,
a new use of the Nemesis system.
yes, right. So that's kind of exciting, but it's too early, right? Like for a lot of these games, we got like, hey, like this game exists. We somebody is drafting something on a paper somewhere, and we're hiring our first devs. So I just feel like a lot of these things they were such early teases that it's hard to get excited about it that strongly. Um, we heard the words Silent Hill on the conference a few times. There was you know the original creator of Silent Hill is making a new game. Um, it is, what is it called? It's Litterhead. That
Yeah.
look kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about that. But people are excited, so good for you, Silent Hill fans out there. Um, but Louis, I feel like the announcements. Oh, and there. I also want to shout out. There were a few indies that I saw that I liked. There was one. It was a game about death, and they had it on the pre-show. Well, they showed Planet of Lana again, which is a game I already knew about that I'm excited about.
Is
There
that the
was
one with like
also
the Star Wars speed cruiser in the desert kind of stuff? Like that one?
yes,
Yeah, that
yes,
looked
yes,
cool.
yes, yes. We saw Somerville again, which is also like it's kind of like a spiritual successor to
Limbo.
Limbo in a way.
Yeah.
Have a Nice Death is the one I was thinking about. That one looked cool too. So some cool indie games. But Louis, I do want to throw a question your way though. Do you think Jeff Keighley might be overhyping the show a little too much by this point?
Yes, these world premieres were like yawn-inducing. Like there was a part where like I'm just like falling asleep and nodding off while watching the Game Awards because first off the pacing is god awful. Number one, and number two, there's this huge stretch of time where world premieres are happening that I don't care about, and they're
Yeah.
not even announcing any award winners because they don't have time for them. So yeah,
I feel like I don't like their definition of world premiere, by the way, which they had the words word premiere show up before pretty much everything we saw in the entirety of the show, and they don't do the voiceover anymore. By the way,
oh
it's
yeah,
not
I
world
thank you,
premiere.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gone, right? Especially because with the 150 world premieres throughout the show, you would get super sick of that voice. But I, to me, if there's a game that's already announced, we already have a release date for it, we already have a trailer for it, and you're just showing, like an updated trailer for
New
it,
trailer, the second trailer.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to call that a world premiere. Like, yes, I guess it is the world premiere of the new trailer, but I feel like that almost dissolves the purpose of the sentence to begin with. You might as well put a notice in the beginning of the show that says everything you see today will be a world premiere because we're only going to be showing things you haven't seen anymore. and then that's it, right? Or like just like a world premiere in the beginning of the show and that's it. Because it's just like it means nothing. So I want them to use maybe a new I would have wanted selfishly them to use a new sentence that actually means, here's something actually new. Here's either we're getting a release date for something we didn't have before, we're getting the first gameplay review for something we didn't have a gameplay review for, or we're getting a full new game announcement, right? Like to
Yes.
me that's a world premiere. And I feel like in this show, there might have been like 10 of those, but then we also had all this other crap that are not, probably shouldn't be in the show to begin with. But
Yes.
if they
Yeah.
are going to be on the show, don't call them world premieres. It's kind of like they had a world premiere and then they showed Tunic, which is a game that we've seen 20 times. It's like it's this great looking little Zelda clone, this little indie game where you play as a fox. And I'm excited for it. It's fun. I might play it when it comes out, but we've seen that game in like E3 2018 or something. That's not a world premiere. And that's it. That's my rant. I'm glad you agree with
Yes. Yeah. What was I gonna say about that whole world premiere situation? I don't know. I just it definitely. I would have only like kept it to like you got to be this tall to ride when it comes to no, not world premieres. Excuse me. Anything that you're gonna showcase, like you're gonna have to tell people no. Like Jeff Keighley already said, like in an interview, like he said, "Oh yeah, we turn people down and stuff like that." No, no, no. You don't do it. You don't turn enough people down. You need to be
it.
like this kind of, I don't know, like this tastemakers in a way. Like I feel like the show would be better off if it's only like hype inducing announcements and like you can basically then have it so that everything that you put at a world premiere, like let's just say you pick 10 things, like maybe hell 5 to 10 things, somewhere in that little mid range or whatever, where and you no other premieres, no other trailers, then you have more time for awards, you have more time for acceptance speeches, and you have a show that doesn't take up 3.5 hours of your time. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Louis, count for me. All right. I'm going to select
what
what
would be
we're going to
the
have.
the
Yeah.
announcements? Okay,
So
let's do
I
it.
don't even know if we should do the Matrix thing because that's a tech demo. That's not even like a new game. But we could possibly keep that,
All
right?
right,
So
let's
let's
keep
say,
it. Matrix.
all right. So Matrix, Star Wars, Alan Wake 2, Wonder Woman. I would even skip Elden Ring. We've seen it enough.
Oh,
Yeah, personally.
I would keep it.
Uh,
I'd keep it. Let's go with that. Let's do it.
okay.
Elden
Okay.
Ring.
Suicide Squad. What about the Halo show?
I can go without that one. Yeah.
Okay, skip it. Hellblade 2, yes,
Yes.
please. That's 7. I'm skipping Arc
Oh
Raiders.
yeah, me too.
Um, let's put Forspoken in there because I like that game. So that's 8. Skip for Horizon. We've seen it enough.
Sonic
Put Sonic in there.
was
That's
9.
9. And honestly, that can be it.
Yes. Everything else can
It could,
go.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Among
And
Us VR. Who the fuck cares about Among Us? That's so last year.
um anyway, so that those are my thoughts there. I
Yeah.
almost I want to have this little holiday project where I go through and I recut the game
You
awards.
know what?
I'm
Hey,
really considering this.
if we do just those 9 games that we mentioned, like, and everything else gets cut, like, if you do only those trailers, those world premieres and stuff like that, and all, like, the show would be way much better for that. Like,
Yeah, I
everyone
know.
would like basically like perk up every time the text world premiere shows up.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like you want people to be paying attention, right? You want people to be excited. And we almost like you almost get so desensitized to everything that you don't even care anymore.
Oh
Like
my god.
it,
Whenever they did the world premiere of Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade for PC, before they announced that it was PC or whatever, I thought this was Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2.
Oh, okay. I thought I don't remember what I thought. I thought they were going somewhere else with it. Like maybe it was like an expansion or a remastered version of some kind. Or, I guess they already did that, so it wouldn't make sense anyway. But yeah, man. That's it. My final thoughts on the Game Awards, and then we can move on. Is that the show has a lot of potential. I really want the show to succeed, but it's about time that they start fixing some of these problems that we've been complaining about since 2014.
Yes. Amen.
All right. All right. Cool. Let's hit up a story here, and we've kind of predicted this. We've been talking about this for a few weeks in the past, but on December 13th, PlayStation announced on the PlayStation blog that there are new DualSense wireless controller collars arriving next month, followed by, and here's the story, new PS5 console covers. It is the faceplates for the PS5. The colors are Nova Pink, Starlight Blue, and Galactic Purple. And they're joining, the colors that they already had, the red and the black. These I don't think they have the prices here, but you can pull them up on the PlayStation website.
I think it's like 55
I
bucks for the
Yep.
covers.
So they are $55, which I think is a little bit more than we had originally predicted.
I
I think when
I think it's outside of that impulse buy range.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's basically the price of a controller, right? It's like
Yeah,
cheaper than a controller actually. So it's not
almost the
that
price of a
bad.
game.
Yeah, it's not that bad, but it is the price of a game, effectively, like you said. So yeah, it is. It is not quite. I feel like 29.99.
Yes,
Would have been a good
this
impulse, like a nice little gift thing. But
because you're talking about spending $55 for molded plastic that's painted a color.
yes,
I
yes, yes,
just think
yes.
I think it's just too much, but whatever. I guess Sony wanted to like DMCA take down everyone else to make sure that they have a monopoly
Yeah,
on on these covers.
yeah. So we were right. The only reason for this story to be here is like, hey, hooray, we were right. We kept talking about this. It was pretty obvious that they were gonna do it. And they did it. And now you can go and get them. I don't know if they're like when they're releasing. I think you can go and pre-order them.
It says
Um,
in the article that they're going to be coming on the PlayStation Direct store directly on January 14th, while supplies last, and then in actual retailers on February 11th.
Now I gotta ask you, Louis, what do you think of these colors, though? What do you think of these designs?
So I actually think that they're hella fucking sexy, in my opinion. Like, okay,
Okay.
black, dope. The light blue, my favorite color is blue, so it's a little too sky blue for me, but blue is blue. That purple, dope as fuck. So those three right there, they just jump out at me. If I'm gonna buy one and I have to only buy one, I'm gonna pick black because all of my hardware is black. But the second one is purple. Like for some odd reason, that purple just looks dope, like very
Hmm.
dope. And I gotta say the red isn't red enough for me because like I actually have the controller and
Right.
it's like a reddish pink thing. So I kind of wish that they made a red controller or a red controller and a red Xbox or PlayStation. But either way, purple and black are a good starting point.
Yeah. So I like the black the best. I feel like all the other ones it kind of put in pretty much the same tier. Maybe um
Do they
the
look
adventures and get
do
a
they look
red
too girly for
one
you?
or no, well, I wouldn't say that. No, I think if anything, maybe you could say that about the pink one. But I feel like we're past the point of pink is for girls or whatever. Like, I actually pink actually looks surprisingly good on me. I have like one pink shirt that I wear sometimes. Um, I think we're past that point, but I will say I do not think for some reason I don't think they're great designs. I think that aside I think the black one is the one that stands out the most, but it's also the obvious one, right? Like the console is white, here's the black version. But all the other ones I don't think I would feel that compelled to buy them. And I'm almost more excited, to be honest with you, Louis. I'm excited about designs that are not monocolor. I'm excited about designs that could come in the future that are more stylized, that are based on a franchise or a game, or something a little bit more cool, something with a little bit more edge with it, that makes it look a little bit more like a special edition console as opposed to just an alternative Joy-Con color.
Yeah, yeah, like a metallic something or whatever with like a cool like slick
Yeah.
design, like a Spider-Man, like a what do you call
Yes.
it? Like a decal almost, kind of like, but not a decal, obviously. But
Yeah,
yeah,
like I don't want it to be overly corny either, but imagine like a red and blue Spider-Man theme where it's like
ooh, like a gray and red like God of War like Omega symbol kind of stuff.
yes, 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 yes. So
Yeah.
I want to see those, and the fact that the basic
Oh my God, a PlayStation a faceplate that commemorates like the 30th anniversary of PS1 and a PS1
yes.
faceplate. Oh God, yes.
Yes, 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 yes. So all of those great ideas, right? So I'm excited to see those kinds of things more so than the basic color. And the fact that the basic colors go for $55 makes me think that anything more involved that they do in the future might be more. We could be
Oh,
seeing as
70.
yeah, or like $70 or something like that.
Jeez. Those bastards. You know what? Third party people are gonna make these plastic molds better. I mean, not better.
Hmm.
Excuse me. They're gonna make these colors just as good, but they're not gonna have the Sony insignia, the PlayStation insignia at the top left. That's the only difference. So, but
Fair
anyways, yeah.
enough. Talking about PlayStation, we got one story here that I thought we should hit on about PlayStation. It's kind of an old story that we would have probably covered in our episode 100 if it wasn't a special episode. It's from VGC, reported by Andy Robinson. PlayStation will launch its Game Pass rival next spring, it is claimed. Details have emerged on an Xbox Game Pass competitor service reportedly being planned by PlayStation. It is according to documents that were seen by Bloomberg, which is paywalled, the reason why we don't have the original article in here. The new subscription service is currently codenamed Spartacus and will combine Sony's current PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now services, phasing out the branding of the latter.
Oh.
The service, which is expected to launch next spring, will be available on both PS4 and PS5 and be structured across three payment tiers, it is claimed. The first would include existing PlayStation Plus benefits, such as online play and free monthly titles. The second would offer a large catalog of games, similar to Microsoft's Game Pass service. The third tier would add extended demos, game streaming, and a library of classic PS1, PS2, PS3, and PSP games. Bloomberg states that PlayStation did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The launch, if accurate, would position PlayStation against Microsoft's popular Game Pass subscription service. And then it's getting into more details about Game Pass and their subscriber count and etc. So I think we can leave it here. Lewis, do you think this report is true? And do you think this is the right move for Sony to make?
I think it's true because there's no way in hell like Sony's gonna get one up or allows this, allow them to be this, allow them to take this sitting down or whatever the fuck the phrase is, whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I think that they're gonna want to remain competitive, and so plus, not to mention, what I was noticing as a general trend in terms of not just the gaming industry but just business and industry in general. Everyone loves a subscription service.
Yep.
Subscriptions are like the way to go. It's all about like constant revenue, cash flow, and all that good jazz. It's all
You
about
know,
quarterly earnings and revenues and going
it,
up and
it's
stuff.
it's been a thing across the board for like over 10 years now. If anything, games are almost kind of a late to the party, right?
Yes.
Like because we've had subscription for I've had a Microsoft Office subscription for a long time now,
And
right? And
back
I've
in my
had
day, you get to pay for Microsoft Word once and keep it.
yes, right.
Yeah.
And I know that pretty much everybody that works with art and design and etc. has the Adobe subscriptions, and they'll do they'll get you with those cheap prices while you're a student, and then they raise the prices after you're no longer a student, stuff like that. Everybody does Amazon Prime. Everybody has all the different video services. So yeah, it's gaming has caught up. They've caught up with Game Pass. And now, PlayStation is coming up with a competitor. I think this is true because Bloomberg has been fairly reliable with a lot of these types of things. VGC also fairly reliable. I'm pretty sure them posting this means they have sources that corroborate it to an extent or another as well. So I think this is most likely going to happen. I think the way that makes the most sense for PlayStation to do this is to combine the services. I like the idea of a tiered system. I already said that I wish Xbox would just combine Games with Gold with Game Pass and give it tiers. So this is exactly pretty much how I would have done it, and I think this is a great move. I don't think it's a move that Sony needs to make. I think it's not going to be as good as Game Pass just because it's not going to have the first party Sony games on day one
Here's
because they're.
here's my counter. Like,
Mhm.
I am of the opinion that this is a good move and that they're, great, good on them, right? But my opinion is that the tiered system is trash. It sucks. It's
Mm.
like, despite the good stuff, by the way, these are pretty good perks. I like actually, these kind of like make me raise my eyebrow. However, my my whole philosophy on subscriptions is, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. So
Mm.
I think that when you have to, make a spreadsheet like a pre-order bonuses do these days, that's when you're wrong. That's when you fucked up. Okay,
Hmm.
when you want to build a subscription base as quickly as possible to as many people as possible, you make it easy for the general consumer to just get it and again jump on board.
My counter argument to that is that as much as that there is a problem with tiers, and it's not as simple, and it's not as easy of a message to understand as one subscription to rule it all. I agree with that, but I would say that it's almost inevitable for them to have this tier system because current subscribers of PlayStation Plus are not going to want their subscription to increase significantly. And PlayStation Plus is $60 a year, while this service with everything that it includes cannot be done for $60 a year. It's probably going to be 120 a year or more, which is the case with Game Pass. If you have Game Pass Ultimate, that is $15 a month, which adds up to $180 a year. I bet most of the people that subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate don't even realize that they're spending almost $200 a year on Game Pass. But it is what it is, and that's the cost that it takes for Microsoft to be able to operate within those means. And we don't even know if they're profiting with that cost, right? So let's say in order for Sony to keep this profitable and successful and competitive, they need to price it the same as Xbox or a little bit cheaper, but they probably won't do it too much cheaper. Then that would mean if it's just one tier and everybody gets, grandfather into that tier, that means there's a significant increase for the people that just want PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But we
Yeah.
cut. But we cut it. We get rid of it.
Yes.
Like
It's
everyone who's got PlayStation Plus, you're the dates when your shit's expired. That's it. You're gonna live it
right.
out. We're gonna pay you out. We're not pay you out. We're gonna do what we promised you. But on January 31st, 2023, when your shit expires, we're done. You got to re up with this new contract. Like that's how I'm gonna. If I was running this shit, I would try to keep it as simple as possible. Because here's the thing: I hate that Nintendo Switch Online has a two-tiered structure thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's dumb, and I think that like you wanna just sort of consolidate, and I think that maybe you will in the future. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna do three tiers now, but then sort of like merge them and stuff.
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus, Game Pass Ultimate kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. We got to move on though. So going on to our next story here. We're covering the NPD like we always do. We're gonna hit this one quick. We got numbers for the November NPD. Spending went down 10% on the US compared to November of 2020. Um, I think maybe that makes sense. I know that in 2020 we had, everything was super high because of the pandemic, and I think now that we're in quotes
Plus
out of the sort
console
of out of the
launches.
pandemic. True, there's that as well. We're more kind of out of the pandemic in a lot of places. We're not out of the pandemic, but things have gone back to normal in most states in the United States, to an extent, and in pretty much all states. So I think that kind of has some influence on it as well. But let's just kind of. I'm pretty sure, by the way, I'm gonna have you look for this for me, Lewis, while I read the titles. But I'm pretty sure the Switch was the best selling console again. So taking back the mantle from the PS5, which was
Yes,
ahead
it says it right
last
here.
month.
On the Nintendo Switch remained the best-selling console for the month and year to date. It sold
Hmm.
1.13 million units in November in the U.S. and has been the best-selling console in the country for 35 out of the last 36 months.
That's insane. That is freaking insane right there. Let's look at our list of the top 20 best-selling games of the month in the United States. We got four new titles starting off the list: Call of Duty Vanguard,
Of
number
course,
one; Battlefield 2042, number
surprising.
two; Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and number three. That does not count digital sales, so it might be even further up. Forza Horizon 5 in fourth place, despite the fact that it's on Game Pass. Very interesting.
Hmm.
Um, and then we got, all the games that have been on the list for a while: Madden NFL, Mario Party Superstars, Guardians of the Galaxy, FIFA 22, Far Cry 6, NBA 2K22. We got another new game debuting at number 11, Just Dance 2022. Then we got Mario Kart 8, Spider Man Miles Morales, Animal Crossing, Back for Blood, which had a big drop from number 2 last month to number 15th. Shin Megami Tensei 5 coming in new at number 16th, which, by the way, is incredibly high for a Shin Megami Tensei game. They have never sold this well. And there's this interesting effect that I'm noticing this year or over recent years, Lewis. These niche Japanese RPG slash strategy games are,
Tails. Yeah.
yeah, like Tales. They're doing a lot better now. Like the new entries on these games are like the best selling entries on these franchises. So I think there's like an interesting, like, I don't know, like the American market is caring about these Japanese games more so now than they did before. Um, then we got Minecraft, Breath of the Wild, Smash Ultimate, and Ghost of Tsushima rounding out the list. Any thoughts, Lewis?
Yeah, the sports games aren't dropping fast enough. They are dropping, but not fast enough. Call of Duty Vanguard, I'm a little, not say surprised, but because we reported like, I don't know if it was like 2 weeks ago where we were talking about how Call of Duty Vanguard sales were kind of weak in the UK or whatever, so people were thinking like calling, predicting like, oh, is this, this
Yeah.
the downfall of Call of Duty and kind of stuff. But I guess, because it has a general audience appeal going on, so of course, like I guess they're gonna have the numbers. Um,
Here's the thing about Call of Duty is that even if the Call of Duty game sells less than the previous Call of Duty game, it's still probably the best selling game of the year. So this is another one of those situations where this game is selling less than the most recent Call of Duty games, but it's still selling a shit ton, you
yes.
know? So
Battlefield 2042, I would have put that at number three because, like, first off, I love Pokemon. Okay, I
mhm.
would have hoped that Pokemon would have, like, even on the physical side, would have like this gargantuan, like, everyone will run out and go buy it kind of thing. But
Yeah.
like Battlefield 2042 has been getting a little like, um, you know, taking a task on the commentary space and then slash the review space. So I'm surprised that it wasn't really affecting the sales. So no, you can't comment, and nor should you. But just saying, like in general, like my perception is that Battlefield would have underperformed.
Mhm. I think things like this, and like you said, I am an EA employee. I will not comment on Battlefield. But some of these brands are just so strong that it's very hard. Like they take hits, but even when they take certain hits, they're still above selling above a lot of perhaps other games that do not have as strong
Just say it.
brands, right?
Just say it, Dan.
So
They're too
no, no,
big to
no.
fail.
Right, right. Almost like that in a way, right? Or it's more like even when they do fail, they fail ahead of others that are succeeding. You know what I mean? So it's just it's interesting, right? It's just the reality with some of these brands. I think the big winner this month is actually weird thing to say, but Shin Megami Tensei 5, coming in, getting good sales, good for them, and Forza Horizon, because I would have anticipated that with Forza Horizon being a Game Pass game, that it wouldn't even chart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fair enough. Well, I'm not gonna say surprise because like actually I take that back. Never mind. I was gonna say MLB The Show, but it was also on PlayStation, so never mind. And so was Back for Blood.
true,
Or wait,
true.
Back for Blood was on PC. I don't know.
Back
Whatever.
for Blood is on Game Pass. You're right. You have a point here. Back for Blood is on Game Pass for PC, for Xbox, and it's starting too. So this actually shows that even games that are on Game Pass still sell well, even when they're only being sold in the platform that they're available on Game Pass on. So,
Hmm.
you know, good good for Game Pass, I guess, and good for the developers.
The Game Pass stimulus package, as they call it.
Yes. Let's go through our big set of extra news here that includes things that have happened pretty much through all the month of December since we haven't covered news in a while. Number one, Square Enix's upcoming PC games will cost $70 for the base versions. It's being revealed, and then Lewis says,
Those
"Those
bastards.
bastards." Number two, PlayStation expands again with the acquisition of Seattle based support studio Valkyrie. Number three, Banjo Kazooie is coming to Nintendo Switch Online in January 2022. Number four, Masayuki Uemura, the man credited for creating the NES and the SNES, has passed away at the age of 78. Number
R.I.P.
five, Ubisoft's plans to add non-fungible tokens or NFTs to its games has been met with overwhelming backlash, and I believe they've backpedaled on that decision
Good.
so far. Number six, HBO's The Last of Us series has recast the role of Bill, who will now be played by Nick Offerman, which I kind of like that casting. And he was recast because the other actor couldn't do the role. By the way, he had some conflict of scheduling or something.
Okay.
Number seven, a high court in Germany has instructed Nintendo to give players the option to get digital refunds on games right up until launch. Number eight, Sony has confirmed that a senior PlayStation executive has been fired after he was accused by an amateur pedophilia sting group, which, by the way, Lewis reported on this for the Level 1 Gaming channel. He did some digging, some more research on it. I didn't want to really cover this in the show in a top news kind of way because it's not our lane. But you can go and read Lewis' story on Level 1 Gaming, which probably actually replace that link, Lewis. Put it in the doc for me if you wouldn't mind.
Sure, I got that.
Number nine was Spider Man No Way Home set to hit movie theaters on December 17th. Insomniac Games is adding some new suits to Marvel's Spider Man Remastered. Number 10, Herschel Guy BM4, known by most as Dr. Disrespect. I should have just included his name here.
Guy
Dr.
Beam.
Disrespect has launched a AAA game studio, in quotes, with former Call of Duty and Halo developers. Number 11, Stalker 2 is going to feature one of the biggest tech trends going on to next year, non fungible tokens or NFTs. Again, number 12, workers at indie dev Vodeo Games have unionized, creating the first certified video game studio union in North America. Number 13, Ubisoft has greenlit the development of a Splinter Cell remake. So, Splinter Cell fans, rejoice, you finally got it. It will draw from the rich canvas of the brand, and it's led by Ubisoft Toronto. Number 14, Square Enix suspends Final Fantasy 14 sales because Endwalker, the new game's expansion, is way too popular, and their servers were getting overloaded. So they took the game off the stores temporarily until like kind of demand dies down, and then they're gonna start selling it again.
Like that's gonna solve it, but whatever.
Yeah. And we got for the roundup. The Uncharted 2 game combo, Legacy of Thieves, which includes Uncharted 4 and the spin off, whose name I forgot, will be hitting the PS5 on January 28th of next year, with a PC version to come later. Assassin's Creed Valhalla has a massive new expansion called Dawn of Ragnarok, which comes March 10th, 2022. And the Xbox console exclusive horror game Scorn is releasing in October of 2022.
I'm not gonna say
Comment,
I have anything to
Lewis.
say as far as comments go because none of these are really like in my total wheelhouse of like hyper excitement. So I'll let it go.
Yeah. I would just say the whole NFT craze, I don't even fucking understand it, but it just seems like such a bunch of bullshit. And I just, I'm annoyed that all these companies are jumping in these bandwagon. And, I don't, I just don't see the point. It's just, it feels like a fluke to me. And I just hope the shit dies down soon. But that's a whole topic. I've tried to bring it up in a previous show. I think we could do a whole topic of the show on it eventually. But
So before we move on, I just wanted to say that we're not on the news because I don't know why Dan is, your Dan is usually on the money when it comes to being fully accurate with everything that's going on in the world of video games. But no mention of the Nindy World Showcase or the Indie World Showcase.
yes, I
So
missed it. I saw something about it and I made a mental note of like I'm gonna go and just throw that in the podcast, and then I forgot about it. So tell me, Lewis, was there any worthy announcement from the Nindy World
no,
Showcase?
no, it was boring. I wasn't even paying attention the whole time. I was mostly listening to it because nothing grabbed me. Like nothing was like cool. Even they're like, we got one last announcement, guys. Like like they're ending the show. I was like, psych, we're not ending this. We got one more announcement. It's like, no, did not move the needle for me at all one bit. Some of these games looked cool as far as style and stuff like that, but they generally tend to be like 16-bit games. And as a matter of fact, the studio that made The Messenger, which is one of the first Switch games that came out, which was like a very successful game, they have a new game in the Messenger universe that's like an RPG game. So that kind of looks like
Hmm.
Secret of Mana. And I'm like, that looks dope. So other than
Cool.
that, no.
All right. So that's it for our news. It's been a little bit of a long show here with covering all the Game Awards and stuff. But Lewis, I'm going to give it up to you to take us home here
All right,
with the final two segments.
I got it.
What are you buying?
Took me a while to find the audio sound effect, but I will say this: not too bad on time because can actually
Yeah.
end the show on a pretty decent time. So for new releases, there's a lot of stuff going on. First off, I can't remember whatever stealth shadow dropped on the Indie World Showcase because whatever. Anyways, Paper Mario 64 has been added to the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. Fortnite Chapter 3 is out, and we will talk about more about it in the upcoming New Year's Eve episode 103. So keep a lock on that one. GTA Online Story DLC featuring Dr. Dre on December 15th. Give me more about
Yeah,
that.
that okay, so that's something that dropped. There was some speculation about it. People thought there was like a new GTA game thing in development, or I don't remember the details, but yeah, there's a story DLC, new story campaign content that's being added to GTA Online, and Dr. Dre is in it. So yeah,
Interesting.
that's it. Yeah.
All right. The original Quake has been given a Horde mode for the first time in its 25-year history. The new mode, which has been developed by Wolfenstein developer Machine Games, has been added as a free update to the remastered version of Quake, released in August.
So
Nice.
I felt like I had to add this here because we keep we keep covering updates to this Quake game, and it's one of those things that because I've done it, it's like I can't do we can't cover two new Smash characters and then a third one comes out and we don't cover that one. You know what I mean? Like now I feel it's a matter of consistency. So we're gonna cover every update to this Quake game
Interesting.
that neither of us cares about. But yeah,
Either way, it's more of like a, what do you call it? Like a victory lap for them, you know?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
anyways, as far as actual new releases, I am going to go ahead and just start off by saying that we're going to cover every new release that we didn't cover back in for episode 100, since we missed out on that one. And since we're going to be on hiatus as far as like not recording new episodes, but recording, pre-recorded episodes, we're going to be covering all the new releases for the end of the year. So we'll be able to kick off the new year with the new games. So on December 13th, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon came out. Delve with Shovel Knight into the depths of the Pocket Dungeon in an action-packed puzzle game adventure mashup like none other. Join your mysterious guide Puzzle Knight as you shovel through scads of foes, procure new equipment, and battle bosses both familiar and new. Explore a tale with endless twists and turns. Quest as your favorite heroes, and even challenge a friend for fast-paced, head-to-head competition in Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. Yeah, Yacht Club Games made this game. Finally, they made something, But yeah,
Yeah, but it's not quite what we want though.
I know,
It's
right?
yeah.
But close enough. You know what? I just can't wait for Yacht Club Games to make a Super Mario 64, but with Shovel Knight. So I need that come to Jesus moment. Among Us is coming finally to PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, and Xbox One on December 14th. That actually was a couple days ago. Did not know it already dropped. Next up, we got the Smurfs Mission Belief Smurftastic Edition on PS5 on December 14th. Alien Isolation came out on iOS and Android on December 16th.
That's a weird one.
That's today, the day of recording. All right, cool. Also, from the Game Awards, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade dropped on PC. And next up, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, PS5, PS4, PC, and something called Kiwi came out on Xbox Series, Xbox One. And let's see what else is next here. There's something called The Gunk. The Gunk is on Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC for actually today of day recording, December 16th. And it's going to be a day one Game Pass game, I'm assuming, because we have a blurb for this one. It says, The Gunk stars Rainy, part of our duo of gritty space haulers struggling to make a buck as they chance upon an untouched planet brimming with life. They came in search of valuable resources, and it looks like they've hit the jackpot. As they uncover the dormant secrets of a shattered civilization, they must battle the curse of toxic gunk parasites, all while getting caught in a spiral of festering mistrust. Use your trusty power glove to reverse the corruption, uncover secrets of old, and heal the planet. Experience the evolving relationship of the crew as you explore this unique planet. Use your ingenuity as well as your quick reactions to overcome the challenges that await. What stories lay hidden in this mysterious abandoned world? What does it all mean? What role can Rainy play in the fate of this evocative, moody planet? Sometimes You just have to take a leap of faith, uncover the mystery, cleanse the gunk, and save the planet. I remember this in a E3 presentation, if I'm not mistaken. So, no, or am I wrong?
You're right.
Ah, sweet. Didn't I don't think this moved the needle for me though. I wasn't really like excited about it. So,
Maybe not. It's an Xbox console exclusive, day one on Game Pass. I think there was like some general excitement for it. Reviews should be out, so I kind of want to see, what if it's reviewing well or not.
yeah, okay, cool. While you look at that up, I'll just finish it out with the last. Well, actually, the last one game. It's going to be releasing twice during our holiday break. On December 21st, Lacuna comes out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on December 21st. And then it's going to come out again on December 28th, but for the Switch. And that's going to be this game right here, Lacuna, with this artwork and everything. This is the last game that gets released in the calendar year 2021.
All right.
So, Dan,
Um,
I don't have a pick of the week.
no, there's not really one this week. I think. In fact, I'm gonna have a peak of the week that is not in this list in a second here.
Okay.
I am gonna say the Gunk, since I mentioned it, on Xbox Series X has a 71 on Metacritic right now. So good, not great. Although it did get some pretty high reviews from some websites, and then not as high from others. But yeah, it was just a game that was sort of on my radar, so that's why I put a blurb for it. And it's also a new game as opposed to some games here coming out on new platforms or whatever. But I did pull up a roundup from the indie showcase, and here's some of the games that were stealth dropped in this time
Oh,
frame
nice.
after the indie showcase. Dungeon Munchies, Let's Play Oink Games,
I remember that one.
Timelie, and here's the one that is going to be my pick of the week: Chicory, A Colorful Tale. This is an indie game. It has the music's from the same composer as Celeste, and it was nominated for the Best Indie Game Award for the Game Awards. It's now dropped on the Switch. So if you want to get a fun little indie game to play over the holidays on your Switch, this game seems pretty interesting and cool. So you might want to go check that out. Other things that were shown in the indie showcase, just so that we covered it, is Endling Extinction is Forever, Sea of Stars, which is the prequel to The Messenger,
That's the one.
After Love EP, and Figment to Creed Valley. Yeah,
And there was like an Ollie Ollie something or whatever. So, yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Ollie
yeah.
Ollie is pretty good, actually. Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, that's the one with the Sea of Stars. I believe that's what you said. I can't remember.
I
that
said Chicory, A Colorful Tale.
Yeah,
from
that one. But I was talking about the
Yeah.
Messenger, the people that made the Messenger.
Oh,
That was
yes,
the one.
yes, yes.
That was the one that like moved the needle for me in any slight capacity. That when I watched it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So as far as the to finish out the show, let's go ahead and move on.
Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger.
We are moving on to the Broke Gamers Guide, where there is how do I put this? A very interesting thing because we normally cover like the free games of the week for Epic Game Store, but this week they're and actually next week for that matter they're doing away with it altogether. Every year, Epic Games they always do like essentially like this 12 days of Christmas thing, where like every day they're dropping a game and you have to be there on that day to claim it, otherwise it goes away. And so
Yeah.
today, or actually no, yeah, wait. So, oh, that sucks for you guys that are listening and watching, because
Yeah.
this is a today only thing.
If you want to know, like today for us, Shamu 3 is the game on the Epic Games, but it's not going to be the case when you're listening to this. So you just go and check whatever is the game that is available there
Yes.
on the day you listen.
Yes, I claimed Shenmue 3 as soon as I like logged in because I knew that today, like Thursday, would be the day that they start the days of Christmas. I don't know if it was 12 days. They maybe do 15. I don't know if they were how many days they said it already in there, but I'm too lazy to look it up right now. But daily free games of the day, and there's a mystery game, as you can see on this. Like if you're watching it, you can see like it's all like nice and wrapped up and stuff. We can't see what the new game is, so we don't know what the Friday game is for you audio listeners, and we don't know what the Saturday game is for you podcast watchers. So yeah, that being said, check out Epic Game Store during our hiatus and get yourself some free games. But yeah, we'll go ahead and move on. Next up is coming soon to Xbox Game Pass, Mortal Kombat 11. Ooh, damn. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm seeing some stuff. I'm liking it. First off, Firewatch, dope. I remember playing that back in the day on the PS4. Mortal Kombat 11 better not just be the base game, but if it is, I guess it's whatever. Among Us, yeah, that's pretty nice because Among Us is a thing that everyone loves, and maybe there's still communities out there for it. Broken Age, one of the best probably the best point and click adventure, bar none, in my opinion. Um, great first act, and so yeah, that's all I wanted to shout out as far as like the stuff that actually like matters to me. But there's other stuff in here, and Dan, I'll let you cover those.
Yeah, it's fine. They can go and find it. The gunk that we covered is coming out. There's a game called Lake coming out. We got a Ben 10 game. Another one called Race with Ryan, Transformers Battlegrounds, Bell Patrol, Record of Lotus War, and that's basically it. And the other thing that was announced at the Game Awards is that the Xbox Game Pass for PC is now called PC Game Pass, which makes more sense.
Interesting. Also, they're like updating some touch controls on 10 more games and stuff like that. So if you play Game Pass on your phone, you have a set of weird like Xbox mapped controllers. You can actually use touch controllers that are like customized for that game. So that's cool. Now here's the thing. I'm not a fan of this, but leaving on December 31st. Well, PES number one, like this year's PES game, or I think maybe even last year's PES game, depending on how they order the name the years. But Yakuza. Yeah, Yakuza
Yeah.
0, Yakuza looks like Kiwami 1 or Kiwami 2. I'm assuming that's just Yakuza 1 and Yakuza 2. But basically, one of the selling points of Game Pass is we have all the Yakuzas, and now they don't. Those
Yep.
bastards.
And things like this keep reminding us that the situation with Game Pass when it comes to third-party games, especially, is that they come and go. It's like third-party content on Netflix. It's there, you see it there all the time until you actually want to watch it, and then you go and you look for it. It's no longer there, and then you realize you got to go and spend $5 in Amazon Prime instead, to or on Amazon instead to rent it or whatever the hell. So yeah.
Next up, Rayman Origins. And Dan is kind enough to provide me the link, so it's pretty easy for me to just go in there, click on and sign into my Ubisoft account. But get a free copy of Rayman Origins. Ooh, that's a good game. On Ubisoft Connect PC now before December 22nd. So that's plenty of time. That's your Ubisoft's Christmas present to you gamers out there, especially for those that game on PC. So yeah, I like it. You can claim it. It says from the 14th to the 22nd, and there's the times on there. And yeah, cool. Next up is, let's see here. Dive into online multiplayer modes on your favorite PS4 and PS5 games without a PlayStation Plus membership during our online multiplayer weekend from December 18th to the 19th. So
Yeah. So
nice.
when you're right after, if you listen to this on Friday, if you watch this on the Level One Gaming channel, you can go and play online on PlayStation for free this weekend without needing PS Plus. Not really a big deal. I assume most people that would care about this probably already have PS Plus anyway. But maybe you're seeing your family for the holidays, and maybe somebody has a PlayStation and doesn't have PS Plus or something, and you can go and play, Warzone there if you'd like, without having to worry about that.
So here's the thing. Like, I haven't. There used to be free weekends all the time. Like PS Plus and Xbox used to do free weekends. I have not heard of a free weekend in forever. Like, did they just stop doing them? It kind of seems like it has been, but whatever.
Yeah, I haven't heard of them forever either, so I don't know. Also, Louis, for the next one, I think you can just read the headline.
All right, Xbox's Winter Game Fest offers 36 free demos of upcoming indie games. Aw, man, it's demos. Okay, whatever. Next up is December's 2021 PlayStation Now games have been confirmed. So we have GTA 3 the Definitive Edition, John Wick Hex, Final Fantasy X and 10-2 HD remasters, and Splitlings will be available for subscribers beginning on December 7th. So that's actually not a bad roundup. I mean, the GTA 3 Definitive Edition, it's
Yeah,
despite the reviews, it's still GTA 3. Yeah,
right.
I don't know, but that's pretty much it.
Cool beans.
That's pretty much it for the Broke Gamers Guide. And with that, Dan actually didn't realize it took so long. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the show and give it over to you.
Well, that is it. Thank you so much for the wonderful year over here at Ready Press Play. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Thank you for watching us on the Level 1 Gaming channel. It is now time to end. Thank you so much for joining us for all the episodes that we did this year and including this one. Remember, you can reach us at ReadyPlayNetwork.com, at Ready Press Play on Twitter or TikTok. I am on Twitter at the Dan Lima and Lewis.
At Chocolaka88.
That's right. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a review, tell your friends about the show, and all that good stuff. And we wish you all happy holiday season. Bye bye.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Peace.